Do Americans have the balls, backbone, and common sense to restore America to capitalism? What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, January the 22nd, and what a week it was. Markets were kind of mixed as they've been for quite a while, but of course, the news, like a nightmare, continues to get worse and worse and worse. And the real question is, do you as an American have the balls to step up and do the right thing now? Or are you going to continue to let this moronic administration take advantage? Okay, are we going to continue to allow President Biden to not have to answer for classified documents in the same home that his crook son has been living in? Okay, are we going to continue to ignore the fact that we have a Federal Reserve that has no clue, could care less, and is really more into the destruction of the middle class? No, that's up to you. That's up to you, the voter. If you want to continue to have these criminal politicians on both sides of the aisle continue to destroy the country that we all love and think is the best in the world. Okay, right now the yield curve is inverted more than it's been in 40 years. Okay, and if you go back 40 years ago, that is right around when Paul Volcker had to step in. Okay, and again, why do we need a Federal Reserve to step in? If the government would take care of their spending habits and not overspend and have to live on a normal budget like you and I do, then we wouldn't be in this problem in the first place. We wouldn't have these problems. Okay, we wouldn't have artificial inflation, or in other words, taxation without representation. I do believe we did go to war for that once already. But now you have big investment firms dictating on what you can and cannot invest in. And of course, DeSantis stuck it up their ass last week, telling them that they will invest in what they want. And if BlackRock wants to handle their money, the $220 billion they have for investment, then they'll do it their way. So it's nice to see that that BlackRock realizes that it's about the money, just like everybody else. Okay, but Larry Fink says that there's a potential possibility of a recession. Why is it so hard to understand that we are already in a recession? Okay, why? I urge you as a citizen, as a worker, to look in your own spending habits. And if you can tell me that your increase in spending is only 6.5% since last year, I'll sell you a bridge in a desert land somewhere. Okay. But now what are we watching? The collapsing of the job market. As you know, we've talked about this many times. We've already lost over 2 million full-time jobs since last May. So as much as President Biden wants to brag about how good the jobs are, we've lost 2 million jobs. At this rate is about 300,000 jobs a month that we've actually lost that were full-time jobs, replaced by non-benefit paying part-time jobs because it restricts what the company is required to do for you. So you've got Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, all laying off employees. What do you think that's going to do to the overall economy? Okay, the auto crisis. Look, it's not like we haven't said this for over a year, that these people were getting over leveraged along with the banks. Okay, and again, I go back to, please, let's see a real honest to goodness stress test on the banking system. Because I think you'll find that soon enough, down they will go. And of course, we'll get the privilege and the honor of bailing them pricks out once again. Okay, so they'll spend, loan, create new dollars, make a fortune, go broke, but they won't go broke. The company will have to come to the government and the Federal Reserve to borrow more money. But Davos, what a crock of shit this is. Okay, they're looking to put digital transfers into the next vaccine. They're already planning for the next the next pandemic. Okay, now I'm 65, and this is the first pandemic that I've seen, and it has been proven that this pandemic was a man-made disease. This was not a true pandemic. And furthermore, it is no different than the flu or the cold unless you're at high risk. And if you're at high risk, you're at high risk for the flu and the cold as well. But the statistics do not bear out the reports that we get. It is as much bullshit as you could possibly find. Okay, all for what? Money. Okay, money. It's about, everything is about money. Remember, life comes down to two things. One is always money. And the crime, what we're watching, is the destruction of America as we know it. Okay, this is almost like it was planned. Okay, I first thought that COVID was chemical warfare from China, but I think there might be more parties involved here. There's too many coincidences that just don't make sense. Okay, as to when we watch to see what's going on here. And as we continue to watch existing home sales down the drain, 11 months in a row, we have seen declines. Do you think they're going to improve as interest rates continue to rise? Do you believe that the Federal Reserve is not going to continue to hike rates? They are. You can bet your ass. Okay. And you've got 11 months, the tech layoffs you've got, and Biden pledges that Ukraine will get all the help it needs. Now, it's easy to pledge with money that is not yours. Okay? It is easy to pledge when you're depending on the taxpayer to pay the bills of your stupidity. Okay? This war should have never started, and I guarantee you, if President Trump was in office, there would be no war, there would be no massive inflation, and interest rates would probably still be way too low. Okay? Because truthfully, the interest rate market is really just coming into fair value and what real price discovery would determine. Okay? But now, for the entire period of this administration, okay, the America haters, the squad, the dumbasses, the ones that won't check the border, the ones that want to flood this country with illegals so they can buy votes, okay? The talk about $5 million per person in San Francisco, for reparations. Fuck reparations. Where's mine? Okay? This is so much bullshit that it's almost hard to talk about when you realize that you and I are footing the bill for all this crap. And what are we offering reparations for? Something that happened when I wasn't born and the person who's getting the reparations wasn't born, and probably long before that. So as we talk about the climate change, which again, I am not a believer, but I don't prevent you from believing that the climate is changing. But now you've got Russia that has been drilling in the Arctic for 20 years and still doing so, and making a fortune doing so. Okay? So where is their restriction? Where is their care for the climate? You've got China burning record amounts of coal and building new coal plants every day. So where does it end? Do we build a bubble for the United States of America? Do we decide that we're going to put a dome over? Okay? Again, you cannot, when you are in a volatile situation, and believe me, the world is always volatile, okay? You cannot give up your own natural resources because you want to scam the American people, which is what we're seeing done. Because where is the plan? Have we started doing anything for green energy? Have we fixed the power grid? We haven't fixed the infrastructure in 65 years. So all of a sudden we're going to go from combustion engines and fossil fuel that it represents 80% of our economy into electric energy when we don't even know how to get done yet, don't have the power grid to do so. This is all garbage. This is all rhetoric. This is just another way for politicians on both sides of the aisle to rip you off and take your money. And if you're going to stand still for it, shame on you. It's a disgrace for Americans to stand back when we were once the freest country of the world and the one place in the world you could go to for opportunity. And you're letting these people destroy the free market system and our opportunity to move to another level in your life. It's a shame. It is a sad state of affairs that we're watching now. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, January the 22nd. And of course, as you know, there are some sponsors that we like to talk about every week and share with you who they're actually to your advantage, okay, of places that you could go to save yourselves lots of money, okay, which we can all use that. And of course, there are two brokerage houses. Now, I have many brokers. I've got a brokerage account. I probably have 20. I don't know. But again, these are the two that I have found that I think are in the best interest of myself because I use them and the best interest of you. And that, of course, is Capital Trading Group, who does all of our letter of direction trading for our futures products, futures and commodities. And, Nell and Pat over there, they are by far the best. They answer the phone. You get the best customer service in the industry. And, of course, for our equities and options, there's Trader Brokerage, which saves me about $100,000 a year because they charge me $10 a month flat to do all of my trading. And, of course, they can support our hedging program and allow you to auto-trade your hedging account with a licensing fee. And, of course, if you're a member of the equity portfolio membership, you get the software for free. So, again, there's too many reasons, and that's all for $10 a month. There is no upcharge. There is no more. Okay? And you can see their links scrolling on the side. But, again, in our high school program, which this is going to be the last year that I'm going to spend money and from the help I'm getting from you on Patreon. But it's hard to get the teachers to teach it, okay? Because they're too lazy, they're tenured, and they have no risk of losing their job. But it is our high school program, which we are working very diligently trying to get it back in play. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line for our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, January the 22nd. And of course, the markets last week, as we said, were, I don't know, kind of sloppy, sloppy poppy. We are in an uptrend in equities, which, I don't see it. I'm long. Okay. Again, you know my positions. I disclose them to you every day. But I don't like it. I think that we're in for a major meltdown. Okay, but again, remember, they don't start in one day. They don't start because I say so. They start when the sellers start to get very aggressive. Now, again, interest rates are very high. Short-term money paying a big premium. So don't you think some money might be pulled out of markets to go there? We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. In the meantime, in the short term, the trend is up. And we are long all four major indices. And for the week, they were kind of sloppy and mixed. NASDAQ and Russell were higher. Dow and S&P were lower. The oil markets are moving along, and again, you have to remember that, that even though we are short oil now, we're long oil now, my apologies. Even though we're long oil now, I think we're going a lot higher. But it wouldn't surprise me if there was a sell-off or a pullback. Remember, you've got a lot of players. It's a very political commodity as well, kind of like wheat. And because we don't control our own supply, Saudi Arabia could at some point, and I'm targeting May, okay, right before the Memorial Day weekend when gas consumption goes way up. where suddenly there's going to be a shortage. And we'll see. But I do think that crude oil has a chance to get to the all-time high levels. Okay. Gold and silver and platinum, as a matter of fact, are all going higher. We're long gold and silver. We no longer trade platinum because it's not liquid enough for us to trade, but they are spiking. And as I said before, I do believe that gold is going to hit new yearly highs, new all-time highs, actually, is what I really said. Okay. And again, I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or it'll be a year from, 6 months from now. I just think that we're going to see a print and maybe a trade through the all-time highs. Bonds and notes, which were long. Listen, they went right up to resistance and they failed. Okay, and they're coming back. They're consolidating, and I think that bonds are going to collapse. Now, we're long bonds and notes, but I think they collapse. And the reasoning is, if I am correct on the interest rate market, which I believe that I am, then bonds and notes have to collapse because they are a direct correlation. Bonds go up, interest rates go down, bonds go down, interest rates go up. Okay, and we're still long both of those. Copper, big week, and I don't understand that either. But there's always stories and there's always a reason. Okay, but if I look at housing from copper from a housing and from a building standpoint, there's no building going on. It's 7% money. It's hard to borrow and try to spec build. Okay, but we are still long copper, and natural gas, which continues to be under pressure, is now nearing the $3 level, and it was just at the $10 level. Now we're back down to $3. Okay, so I think that it's something that you have to keep in mind and watch. And of course, in the grain markets, they have been about as torturous as one can see, but they're not getting hammered. And I think this is what you have to recognize: the selling attempts have not been able to really break them down. Okay, now we're short corn and we're short wheat. Okay, we're long soybeans, but the pressure has not been able to really crack them. Okay, which is the plan. They've actually held, and I think what you want to see is corn to get over $7 and hold, wheat to get over $8 and hold, and soybeans to get over $15.50 and hold. Then I think the big market starts. I do believe that this year is a big market in commodities coming. Okay, there's a lot of shortages, a lot of problems, but again, you got to remember who you're dealing with. Okay, this is the problem when you have a lot of artificial bullshit and a bunch of people that refuse to get off their fat ass and go vote and go take care of things and continue to live in a dark cloud, hoping that everything will go away. Okay. In the meantime, in the meats, feeder cattle has weakened a little bit. Fat cattle has gotten a little stronger. We don't trade them anymore, but we would be long fats, short feeders now. But I don't think there's a lot of room either way. I think they churn. I think they directly correlated to the price of oil. Hogs have been under heavy pressure. We would be short hogs, but I think if you look out the curve, you'll see that hog prices are getting higher as we get closer to summer, because that's a big season anyways, and it is the secondary protein after beef. Okay, so and of course in the softs, cocoa we're long, was higher for the week. Cotton was flat for the week. It's kind of in consolidation, but it is trying to edge higher, but we're still short. Sugar we're long and had a little bit of move. Sugar we're short. My bad. OJ we're long, and it's at ridiculous prices. I don't know how I can hold here, but again, I'm not going to fight it. And coffee is under pressure still. Now, I believe all of them are going to go into a big market. It'll be to what degree. I think the grains will be the biggest benefactor of all this, but we'll see where we go from here. Again, I think that Bitcoin, which broke out, as we mentioned last week, to watch 15 to 18,000 and bang through 18,000. Now we're at 23,000. Okay. Now again, I believe it's a real currency. I believe it's a way to move things, and I think it's being adopted by many of the smaller countries. So again, we're long Bitcoin as well. In the meantime, we'll see what happens. It's been very quiet and very challenging to trade. So I will step out here for a break. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 22nd, and we'll be right back with our commentary and, of course, our football picks for today, Sunday, January the 22nd. Again, what's up? Just want to remind you about our sponsors and, of course, Capital Trading Group, the best for futures and commodities, And Trader Brokerage is the best for options and equities, and there are links on the side. They have tremendous benefits. And just a point of fact to all of you, wherever you go, if you're trading equities, options, and futures, have an equities and options specialist broker and have a futures broker. They are not a good mix as one. They do not make a good entity as one. Okay? And of course, our high school program, don't forget about that. And let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horowitz, and our commentary as well as our football picks. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 22nd. And of course, I always got something to say, and I am really angry at the ignorance of Americans today. Okay? I cannot believe that so many people can say, we're the greatest country in the world, it doesn't matter. Okay, but when you keep giving away things, when you allow a lot of criminal activity to take place, the very same activity that they tried to impeach President Trump for, Joe Biden's doing every day. Okay? Hunter Biden's living in his house. What is wrong with you, the voter? Okay? Do you hate this country that much that you would put in a bozo into office and continue to let them do as they wish? Are you not concerned about the border? Are you not concerned about the cost that you are paying directly related to the border invasion? Okay? I mean, they're coming in masses. What is wrong with everybody that doesn't see the forest before the trees? Okay, that this is costing us a fortune and also a part of inflation. Tie into that a Federal Reserve that is hiking rates into a recession. But of course, because they changed the rules and not determined that this is a recession, they can do whatever they want. But they can do whatever they want anyways, because typically it's the weakness because too many are too spoiled and don't care. Okay, and I think it's time you start to care before your country, the greatest in the world, disappears. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz, and of course it is Football Sunday. Football is winding down quickly. We got two games today: Buffalo, Cincinnati, and Dallas and San Francisco. I like Cincinnati a little bit if I can get +6, is just as a small play. My best bet of the week, and I don't know if you can get the price anymore, and I hope it's better than last week's best bet, but it'd be San Francisco -3 over the Cowboys. Brock Purdy is going to be quite the story. In the meantime, everybody have a great weekend. As always, I thank you. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Sunday, January 2nd, and we'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. In the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the games. We'll see you later.